We're going to get started. All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to the monthly Monday Night Swarm meeting. And so, and I'm excited. I was just saying before we started the recording how every time that I do one of these meetings, it reminds me how blessed that we are to have so many just awesome people from all over the country and Canada that are part of what we do, you know. And there's many more than just the ones that are on the call tonight. But I want to thank you guys. Seriously, you guys are really the reason that I stay in this, and I've been doing it for 8 years. So I don't want to assume that everybody on the call knows me, so I want to introduce myself a little bit. My name's Mygrant. 8 years ago, I decided to pick up a set of P90X, lost 120 pounds with it. I'm still fighting to keep that off after 8 years. I put a little bit back on, but if it weren't for being a Beachbody coach, I promise you I'd be all the way back to the fattest guy in the country. So I'm grateful for what Beachbody has done in my life. My wife and I, Ashley, we do this full time as Beachbody coaches. I know that we have other coaches in our organization that are part of Team Swarm that also do it full time, but the majority of you do not. And so I know that it's not always easy to fit in a call. And that's why we do sort of how our team is set up is we do a once a month meeting with the larger team. We have almost 4,000 coaches in what we call Team Swarm, and it's given birth to many other teams. So maybe you're like, what is Team Swarm? How did I end up on the Team Swarm call? Don't worry, you're part of our organization, regardless of what team name that you claim. It's all good. So I just want to thank you guys for taking about 45 minutes out of your Monday night to spend with us. The first Monday of every month, we're going to meet together as a large team, and we're going to cover some topics, talk about events going on in the company, and then I'll do a little training with you guys as well. And then the rest of the month, you should be either meeting with your other team, like your smaller group that you're part of within the team. Your leaders are hosting meetings on a weekly basis. And so that's how our team operates. So you get to hear from me once a month. That way you don't get too much Tommy time. That's what some people call it. But I'm grateful that you guys are here. So let's get cracking, because there's a lot of exciting stuff going on around the network, right? The 21-Day Fix Extreme launched today, right? If you guys are kind of new to this whole launch thing, don't take that, lightly. It's a great time for you guys to go out there and talk about a new product, maybe even do the product yourself in the program and get the best results you can with it, and start sharing that story. You could do a fix extreme group or something like that, but that product is out. People have been ordering it all day. I know, because I've seen the volumes going up. And if you were a coach that made Success Club last month and you got 21-Day Fix Extreme today, you should be able to get that in your Beachbody On Demand as soon as that's released to you. So I think they're going to release that Beachbody On Demand to the Success Club earners here in a couple of days. So you won't have to wait for it to come in the mail. You can actually try some of the workouts out now if you want. So, but that just happened today. And by all means, it seemed to go pretty well. I know that we crashed the system a little bit. It slowed down, it bogged down. So like Carl said in one of his posts, if you have people that are trying to get 21-Day Fix Extreme and they've had to try a few times, they might have to try a few times, because the volume of logins has increased dramatically on a launch day. So you may have to follow up with people for the rest of the week, or do whatever you have to do. Have them try multiple times, have them try again tomorrow. There should be enough product. We shouldn't sell out of it in like 2 days. But you want to get those people in line just in case that does happen. So 21-Day Fix Extreme is officially out. So with that and Insanity Max 30, I mean, that's two pretty big products that we can use and promote throughout the rest of the year. I do want to talk about Danny Johnson. As you guys know, there's some outside trainers that do events, whether it's Eric Worre with his GoPro events or Danny Johnson. Many people in our organization and the network have attended some of her events live. I haven't been for several months, but she is hosting a live First Steps to Success event in Los Angeles, California at the end of February. And it's a 2 or 3 day event. I think it's February 27th and 28th. If you want more information, just reach out to us and we can get you connected to the right people so that you can get involved with that. Let's talk rock the basics, right? So we have a brand new group. Now there's several coaches in the team that run what they call basics boot camps. Okay. I'm starting one tomorrow night. If you're a new coach and you're not in a basics yet, check with your leader, whoever sponsored you, or you're welcome to jump into my group. That's a group where we do a daily assignment, and it kind of gets you up to speed. So if you're brand new and you're not sure what to do as far as your training goes, I have basics starting now with that, right? And so we're actually doing our first meeting tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern for that. So with that said, Team Cup. How many of you are on Team Cup? Raise your hands. How many of you have signed up for Team Cup? Look at all the friggin' hands. I love it. I love it. I love it. Swarm is representing. There's 5,700 teams across the country in Team Cup, okay? The really cool thing, though, is what I've discovered in Team Cup, and I've had 3 or 4 teams finish in the top 10 in the network of my own. Here's what I found with Team Cup. And so if you guys are part of Team Cup, how many of you are leading a Team Cup? Like you're actually the leader of the Team Cup, okay? So what I want to do, though, I'm going to give you my best tips and pointers as far as what's worked for me and my group, okay? And so here's the great thing is this. Hopefully you have a group of 5 people that all want to engage. Now, if somebody happens to like fall out and go MIA, don't freak out. Focus on the people that are there. You know what I'm saying? Get the best out of everybody that you can. But this is what I have found works within my own Team Cup teams is this. One, you want to have your own Team Cup group page, right? A private page just for the 5 of you where you guys can go in there and just talk about every day. It's kind of like a little accountability thing where you could just post every day. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I posted. I'm talking to these 2 people. I got this in the pipeline, all of that stuff. So you can do your daily accountability. I suggest that you focus heavily on using that group as your home for the entire month, right? That's where you go. That's who you hang out with. That's the group that you're running with for the month of February. Okay, everything else is kind of noise at this point, right? This is a month to dig in and get to work and pull together. So focus on those 5 people the best you can. I would also suggest having like a weekly meeting, like a little weekly Zoom chat where you guys can get together and share ideas. You know, maybe somebody is in the team and they want to do it, but maybe they don't have the right approach, and you can help them craft a better approach. Does that make sense? A lot of this is, how do I even approach people, right? How do I promote? How do I put it out there? And so as a group, you can come up with a game plan of an approach that you can use. Maybe you build a group together. Okay, we're going to go do a 21-day Fix Extreme group together. And your approach for your group is going to be, hey, I'm working hand in hand with 5 of the best coaches on our team. Okay? And together, we're looking to find at least 20 people that are willing to go through this new 21-day program that our company is launching. So you don't just get 1 coach, you get 5 of us. Does that make sense? So that's an idea that you guys could use. All right, Jay, write that down. We should do that. Jay's on my team, and I even got a Canadian, Frankie Scribe. I'm like, let's go blow up Canada. I love it. Here's the thing: set what I call expedited goals. Okay, this is a month, and what do I mean? What do I mean by that? So typically we have like a monthly goal of the number of coaches or number of Success Club points that we want to earn, right? So, or the number of lives that we want to help. So I'm actually tracking lives. I'm not tracking points per se. Does that make sense? That's what works for me. You know, I have a whiteboard, and every time I help somebody do something, take 1 step, I don't care if it's a program or whatever, I put their name on that list. That motivates me more than counting points. Does that make sense? But if you're going to count points, whatever it is that motivates you, that's fine. If it's reaching a certain number of points, but I would say expedite that, right? So instead of focusing on the whole month, what you want to do is chunk it down for you and your group. Okay, so have everybody in the group now set either a weekly goal, or I do it by the 10th of the month and the 20th of the month and then the rest of the month. Does that make sense? So I do it in 10-day increments. So I say to my group, listen, we need everybody in this group to get to SC5 by the 10th. Let's just focus on that. How can we get you there by the 10th? Don't give it the whole month. Let's get you there by the 10th. You guys see what I'm saying? So we set a shorter term goal. That's what I call expedited goal setting. All right? We're going to compress it down to the first 10 days. We're not going to worry about the last 20 days of the month yet. First 10 days. Okay, let's see who's there. So the thing is, you're going to set multiple deadlines within the month. And I promise you when you do that, because here's the thing, all of you are capable of going out and helping 3 people these first 3 days. that make, or these first 10 days. So everybody that's on this call and everybody that's in your group, if they want to do it and they're willing to go out and approach it and promote it and talk and invite people and do those things and spread the word and follow up with people, everybody could go find 3 people in the first 10 days. That would put you in Success Club 5 by the 10th. Does that make sense? See, so a lot of times what happens is because we're looking at the end of the month, we procrastinate. We're human. We start procrastinating. How many of you do that, right? How many of you, like all of a sudden it's the end of the month and it's the 26th and you hit the oh crap button and you go, oh crap, I got to get those other 2 points. And what do? You go out and you make it happen. You find a way. So what happens when you put the deadline faster? And this is probably one of the biggest keys. I know that the top coach, Melanie Mitro, does this with her team. It's actually, I was probably one of the first people in the network to use what I call 10 by the 10th. So when I had my 2 or 3 years where I was in the top 10 of the network, every month I was like 10 by the 10th, 10 by the 10th, 10 by the 10th, 20 by the 20th, 20 by the 20th. And then the rest was gravy. Does that make sense? Okay. And so I would get you and your team to set expedited goals. And then I would just make sure that I was following that power of 3. Is there anyone on here that doesn't know what the power of 3 is yet? It's sort of a new concept that we've been teaching the last couple months in our basics, but it's basically, 3 invites a day, 3 follow-ups a day, 3 posts a day, and just making sure that you're doing that consistently. How many of you have never actually done that for an entire calendar month? And be honest, because I have never, honestly, I've never done that for an entire calendar month. What would happen if you did? And what would happen if you and your group did? If you just woke up every day and said, I'm going to invite 3 people, and you got your approach nailed down and you sent that out, okay? Now understand, there might be people on your team that they don't know how to come up with a good approach yet. So you might have to help them do that if you're a leader for that group. Here's the other thing that I found in team cups. The ones that I've had in the top 10, I wasn't actually the one stepping up to lead. As crazy as that is, it was always someone else who was an Emerald coach that didn't give a crap, that was like, I'm going for it. Let's go get these prizes. What's happened anytime that our team has made the top 10 out of the 4 times, there's only been 8 team cups. So 50% of the team cups, the team that I've been on has been in the top 10 of the whole network out of thousands of teams, right? Here's what's happened. I've got them focused on that short-term goal, okay? And then all of a sudden, the leaderboards come out and we're in the top 25. And all of the newbies go, holy shit, we're in the top 25 of this network. Oh my gosh. And then you go, okay, let's just focus on improving it by next week, right? Let's focus on going from 23rd to 17th or something like that. Okay, but but the only way that happens is if all 5 people contribute. Like everybody's hitting the chip shots. And maybe somebody has 4 points and maybe somebody has 17 in that first 10 days, right? Does that make sense? Like there's got to be, there's got to be somebody in the team that says, I'm hitting the gas, I'm going for it, I'm going balls out, and they're scoring a lot of points. And all of a sudden when the team sees that they're in a position to win big, okay? And so what I do is I'll use the tiers too, because there's 3 tier prizes, right? 30 points, I think, and 50 points and 75 points. So if the team gets to 30 points, so let's say the team is at 16 points, then I'll say, listen, let's just focus on getting to 30. How can we get to 30? How many more points can you get? How many more people can you help? Can you get 2 points? Can you get 4 points? Whatever that is, everybody contribute. Everybody contribute. And then once you hit, so a good goal might be to get to that first tier by the 10th of the month as a team. 30 points as a team by the 10th of the month. Everybody understand that? Whatever you use as the dangling carrot for your team. So the point is this, and this is true whether it's cup month or not. At the end of the day, here's what you need. A goal with a deadline. It's pretty simple. A goal with a deadline and accountability is the third thing, an accountability structure. And you're doing that with your 5 people, okay? So how many of you picked up just some good tips in that, even if you just use it only for yourself, right? There's some good stuff in there. Okay, that's good. Because I don't want to give you crap that you don't find valuable, all right? So with that said, I'm excited for Team Cup. That's not even the topic that we're covering tonight, by the way. That's like a little bonus. But I'm telling you, goal setting, deadlines, accountability. That's all you need. And the vision and the purpose behind why you're doing it, right? Does that make sense? The vision and the purpose behind why you're doing it. What is the motivating factor? Why are you doing it? And why should the team do it? Okay, what's the purpose behind it? Okay, right? You got to have a vision for that. And that's the truth. All you ever need in this business are those things. That's the truth. If you have goals, deadlines, a vision and a purpose of why you're doing it, and an accountability to other people, then you will do this business, whether it's Cup Month or not. All right. Let's get into some recognition. I want to get into some recognition, and then we do have an important topic to cover tonight. So recognition, I had a couple of new Emerald coaches that popped up. So listen, I go by the list that's in the Swarm Cave. So if some of your names aren't being read and you think they should, there's a document in the Swarm Cave where we post who has what. And I just take it off of that, and that's what we go by. But Bruce Johnson, who's a PS coach of mine, he got to Emerald before the end of the month. Congratulations to him. And then I'm assuming, Vince, that Tara Zemlicki, right? So Tara Zemlicki, who enrolled in the middle of January, is a brand new coach, middle of January, had 11 new coaches in the first 2 weeks she was a coach. 11, right? Some of us were like, I've been here for a year and a half and I don't have 11. Well, I guess she was asking people. I guess she was putting it out there to some people, right? I guess she wasn't being held back by fear. She wasn't being held back by excuses, and she wasn't being held. She didn't give a crap. I signed up. I got to go build a team. Let's get after it, right? So, and she had 31 points in her first month, which is incredible, all right, for her. So, Tara, I have not met you. I'm glad that Vince found you. You couldn't be with anybody better than Vinsanity. He's a good dude, and him and his team are crushing it. Team Sting, baby, in the house. So congrats to them. January Success Club earners. So this list of people not only earn Success Club, but they also get a free month of Beachbody on demand before anybody else does, which I'm super excited about. And if you guys don't know about Beachbody on demand, how many of you are kind of hesitant about this Beachbody on demand thing? Like you're kind of like, okay. And listen, it's okay to be honest. That's why we have video. You can raise your hands. Maybe I can quell your fears about that. Listen, change is scary, right? And for years, we've been dealing in DVDs, right? Throwing out DVDs. Just like Blockbuster, by the way, who's now out of business. Why? Because Netflix, who is all digital streaming. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so for us, here's why I'm excited about Beachbody On Demand. It's another residual product. When people buy DVDs, they get a set of DVDs. You get paid one time. Does that make sense? When they get Beachbody On Demand, that means they're going to continuously pay their quarterly fee for a club membership, and you're going to get paid every 3 months for as long as they keep that membership. Think about what that does for your commissions, because club memberships now are going to pay 40%, which is more than the DVDs only pay 25%. Does that make sense? So you're getting a higher percentage commission on a residual product. Think about what that does. I was actually doing the math, right? And I was like, because the organization we have, I'm like, man, if I had just 100 total customers in the organization get Beachbody On Demand, per week, right? Does that make sense? I mean, there's 4,000 coaches in our team. We all have customers. So, I mean, that's not out of the world to think. I mean, think about what that does to raise volume within the team as well. Does that make sense? Everybody understand that? So for me, I can't be more excited about it. One, because I get sick of packing up my friggin' DVDs. Every time I travel, how many of you travel and you're like, the biggest pain in the ass is taking the DVDs, finding something to play it in, blah, 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 right? Now you don't have to. Take your laptop, log in, do your workout right there in the hotel room. It's not a big deal, okay? So it removes that excuse. Now the other reason that I'm excited about Beachbody On Demand is customer service issues. It's hard to get a scratched video stream, right? It's hard to lose a DVD when it's a video stream. So, I can't tell you how many hundreds of customers I've had that are like, this one DVD isn't working. How many of you have had customers they get their DVDs and they're not working right, and it's a pain in your ass because you're like running around. You feel responsible that whatever factory created these things screwed it up. Well, now you don't have to do that. Now it's like if there's a customer service issue, let's say it's down, the IT department's going to work on it. It'll be back up in a couple hours. Does that make sense? So it's going to mainstream a lot of customer service issues for us. Now, the other thing is this. they're not going to get every program. Okay, you got to understand that. So they get the P90X, X3. You know, there's like 6 or 7 programs they will get with the basic membership. But like 21 Day Fix Extreme, the only way they get that in Beachbody On Demand is if they buy 21 Day Fix Extreme. Then they get the DVDs and they get it unlocked on the. You guys understand that, right? So Max 30 is another program, right? That the only way they get Max 30 and On Demand is if they actually buy the Max 30 program through a challenge pack or through that set of DVDs. And once they make that purchase, it identifies in the system and unlocks Max 30 in the Beachbody On Demand, okay? So I want you guys to understand something. Here's the thing. I trust Uncle Carl. He's a smart dude. Uncle Carl is also a smart businessman. He's never going to do anything that takes us backwards, right? They might not always be perfect, but his vision is always progressive, right? So I trust that he's not going to do anything that's going to hurt your ability to help people or hurt your ability to make an income helping those people. I promise you that, okay? If it weren't what's best for customers and it weren't what's going to help the coaches earn more money on a residual basis, he wouldn't be doing it, all right? So I have a complete faith in that. There's another thing that we talked about I wasn't planning on. So, but these January Success Club earners are going to get a free trial of that in the month of February here. So I'm just going to go down through the list. In Success Club 5, Lynn Gebsky, who she's made, I don't know, like 58 out of 59 months, something like that. Right, Lynn? I mean, seriously, 5 years straight, this girl has been in Success Club. That's not easy to do, right? So Lynn is on that list. Norma Villa, and Norma, you're going to have to forgive me if I chop your name up. Norma Villavicenzio, who's a new coach. She just went through basics. She made Success Club. Crystal Jones, Frank McGuire, Casey Pewitt, Greg the Birdman, Angela Zapian, Lori Bolden. I was listed at 10. I had a return the last day and knocked me down to 8. So I'm just being honest, okay? Completely honest here. I had 10. The last day of the month, I got a return. So, yeah, even I get punched in the gut sometimes. Not a big deal. We're going on, right? In Success Club 10, Janet Cheney, Stacy Bird. Stacy, you have more points than your husband? Where's Greg? Anyway, we won't go there. Corey Cervenka. Danielle Barrera is like always in Success Club 10. Tim Olson, good to see his name on there. Papa Joe Gonzalez, Stephanie Brown, Maria Amon, Billy Joe Turner, Frankie Scribe, Heather Stetson, Lindsey Black McGuire had 16 points, and then Mike Amon had 16 points. So Mike and his wife Maria both in Success Club 10, dude. They're really turning it on. Seriously, I met with them in DC last month. And that should be great for some of you guys that are new. Is this not everybody comes in this thing blazing, right? Like it takes a little bit of time to figure some stuff out. Well, him and his wife have started to figure things out, you know, after a year or so, and now they're really kind of hitting the gas pedal, which is awesome. Success Club 20 plus. So these people had 20 or more points. Lindsay Cheatham had 20. Lindsay, awesome. And Lindsay, I think, just left her job as a nurse after about 18 months as a coach. And she's now doing Beachbody full-time. Congratulations to her. Tina Gonzalez, 23 points. Brent Bauer, 25 points, which is no joke. Liz Bellini, 25 points. Tammy Glenn, another PS coach of mine, 26 points. Tara Zimlicki, 31 points in her first month in 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know why the rest of us are sitting around. I mean, this girl hit the gas. And then Sarah Mihailo, like a month after she had a baby. At 39 points. So no excuse for her. She has a baby. And let me tell you something, as a guy that's had a new baby in the last couple of years, that could be a reason to not get 39 points, but she did. She crushed it. So anyway, congrats to all of you. And when we're reading those, you know, really when I see names on a list, right, and we're talking about points, I see people who are just out there, they bought in, and they're out there working to help people. And they're in the process, they're building something for themselves, you know, whether that's additional income or freedom or fulfillment, whatever that is. But the topic that I wanted to cover tonight, as someone who's been around this network for almost 8 years now, I think, 7 years it'll be because we started April 1st of 2008 as a team. For 7 years, we've been doing this. I want to cover this because I think it's very important. And so this isn't going to be a big rah-rah. You know, sometimes I get fired up and I'm a football coach and I can headbutt the screen and I get you guys fired up. Tonight's not going to be that kind of a meeting. And I want to apologize for that up front, but I think it's a very, very, very important and vital topic because it's something that is going to protect you for the long run so that you build something of substance and not something that is going to flake out on you. Okay. And so this is going to be a talk about coaching ethics and integrity. Coaching ethics and integrity. And there's reasons why I'm talking about this right now. You know, is that I've seen a lot of coaches who get caught up in the game and they get caught up, you know, and I understand that. I've been caught up in the game now for 7 years. I get it. And sometimes we put what we want at the moment ahead of what we want the most, right? And I think it's important that we clearly can identify some areas of concern when it comes to integrity and ethics and something that every coach who's out there working is going to cross paths with. And that way we make sure that, you know, write this down. You know, failure is giving up what you want the most for what you want at the moment. So the first order is to clearly understand. I mean, the reason that you guys enrolled as a coach is because you're, you know, either one, you really have a heart for helping other people and you're not really in it for yourself, right? But you're in it not for the money or not for the recognition or not, you know, but you're really in it for serving other people and you just happen to get paid for that. Okay, does that make sense? Or the other reason is you're really trying to build something for yourself, right? Which is fine, and that's going to require you to go out and help people. So you're trying to build freedom from a job, or you're trying, you see what I'm saying, or whatever that is. I understand both because I have been both, and I am both, right? I was a guy that really just caught fire and a passion for helping other people with something that helped me so tremendously in my life. And then I saw an opportunity that, man, I could do this on a full-time basis and make way more money than I ever could selling insurance. That's crazy to me. Why not go for it? Does that make sense? So the reality is what we want the most is to serve people. What we want the most is the fulfillment of helping others. What we want the most is to build something solid that nobody can take away from us. Does that make sense? That isn't going to crash. And so there's going to be moments, though, when you're out there helping people where the question is, what's right and what's wrong? How should I handle the situation? All right. And so I've got just a few areas that I think are important to cover, that I think are the biggest areas where coaches kind of fit, you know, you're going and you come into a situation, you're not quite sure how to handle it. And so what I want to do is cover those situations for you and you guys take them from there, right? But I want to make sure this, our team never gets caught up in doing things the wrong way because it will bite you in the ass. And if it bites you in the ass, it's going to bite me in the ass. And if it bites me in the ass because of something that my team did, I ain't going to be a happy camper. Does that make sense, right? I can only defend people when they're on the right side of the fence. I want you guys to understand that, all right? And so I'm going to, and you can check my stats. There's probably coaches on this call right now that wanted to switch over to me and I wouldn't. And I said, look, just come and be in our calls anyway. I really don't care. Like, I'm not going to have you switch. Okay. So the first one is this: bonus buying. Bonus buying. Okay. Bonus buying. And some of you are like, what the hell is bonus buying? I haven't even thought about doing that. All right. Bonus buying really is this. Like, if you create fake accounts and you're paying for multiple accounts, in order for you to reach like a diamond rank or higher or something like that, that could be bonus buying. The general rule of thumb is this: you plus 2 is okay. You plus 2. As long as they are family members, right? Does that make sense? As long as they are someone that's close to you, okay? But bonus buying, so you know, I've seen, listen, there was a girl a couple of years ago who came in and she was really gung-ho about getting the 15-star diamond, right? Because she saw that she could make like a $50,000 bonus if she made 15-star diamond. And so, and she didn't really follow protocol with this. She was paying for a lot of accounts under her in order to hold that rank long enough for her to make that rank. And so she got all this praise and all this recognition, earned a $50,000 bonus, and a month later she gets chopped from the company, never allowed back. Right? Chopped from the company, had to return the money. She ended up with nothing. Does that make sense? Right? How many of you don't want that to happen to you? Okay? So all I'm saying is this, you know, we have to build in a legitimate way with integrity. So there's going to be times when you're tempted, though. There's going to be times when you're tempted. And this, sometimes this happens at higher ranks. When you get to diamond and star diamonds and 5-star diamonds and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you just want to make sure that you're following the rules. The rules are this: you plus 2. So you could sponsor your wife and your father, okay, and get yourself to Emerald. That's fine. That's not against the rules, okay? The issue is then that, oh, okay, I'm going to sign up cousin Johnny and my sister Susie because I need one more coach on each side to get the diamond, and I'm going to pay for their accounts too. And all of a sudden now you got 5 or 6 accounts that you're paying the fee on, and you're ordering stuff through their accounts that, 1, hold your rank, or 2, earn you bonus in some way. Now here's the thing: it's okay for you to order stuff through a spouse account, but let's say that Vince is one of my coaches. I can't go order stuff through Vince's account to keep Vince active. Okay, and the company does check your credit card number. They can, and they have. They'll run your credit card number to see how many accounts that's been ordered through. And if they find out that it's more than you plus 2, guess who's going to get a phone call? Trust me, that's not a phone call that you want to get. Okay, so at the end of the day, the only solid way to build your team is to go out there and enroll people who truly want to do it, and do it that way. And do it with integrity, okay? The second area of concern, and this is a big one, and this is one that all of us will run into, you will run into it, is this: switching coaches. Switching coaches. There's a difference between coach switching and coach poaching, or customer switching and poaching. Does that make sense? All right. And so there's a proper protocol. So all of you will be out there and you'll talk to people, or somebody will message you through Facebook and they'll say, I really want to do this, blah, 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 blah. Okay. The first order of protocol is always to ask them if they have an existing coach that they're working with. Always. Okay. First order of protocol. Do they already have a coach? You need to know that. And if they do, then you want to send them back to that coach. Okay. Somebody else worked to get that customer. Somebody else worked to earn that customer. And so, you wouldn't want people switching all your customers over, would you? Let's say that you worked really hard and you had 300 customers, and all of a sudden Tommy Mygrant comes in and he starts switching all your customers over to him, and you're like, what the hell? All my customers are leaving me, and everything that you worked hard to build. So there's a code of ethics, and it's sort of a gentleman's agreement in the network, that we handle this, according to protocol. And it's the same with coaches. I've had listen, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I know this. If I would have allowed every person to switch to me that's ever asked me to switch, our team would be double to triple the size as it is, and my income would be bigger. But you know what? I probably wouldn't have it, because at some point I would have got caught and they would have thrown the hammer down on me. Does that make sense? Okay. And my biggest goal is to earn trust and respect from people, right? Trust and respect mean more to me than dollars. All right. Everybody understand that? So you have to ask yourself that question when it comes to, am I doing it just so I get the dollars, or am I doing what's right? Okay. There are some times when I think a coach switch could be okay or necessary. All right. The first time is this, if you have somebody who, there's a lot of people that at some point in their life started an account and had no idea they were even assigned a coach, and they've never had contact with that coach. And people have like accounts that they started 3 years ago when they bought P90X the first time, and they just, they've been in non-contact. There's no relationship there beyond that initial customer assignment. They've never been helped. They've never had a talk with this person. That's the first time. And so if that's the case, then you can help them get switched over. The second case would be like if their coach is totally MIA. They have a coach that at one point was actually coaching and actually doing stuff, but that coach hasn't done anything. They're not running groups. They're not helping anybody. They're not promoting anymore. They're not, like that coach is completely MIA. In fact, like this person tries to get a hold of them and that coach is non-responsive. Does that make sense? If that coach isn't taking care of them, then my belief is it's in the best interest of that customer to have a coach that's actually going to take care of them and help them. Okay. That's another time. Number 3 is if they had some kind of a falling out or bad relationship situation with their coach. And that's happened before. And in all of those cases, I always suggest that you do everything on the up and up. If you're going to switch a customer, you do your best to identify who that coach was, and you make contact with them and let them know, hey, this is what's going on. So-and-so, I talked to so-and-so. I want to know, do you have a relationship with them? If so, I'm going to tell them to go back to you. If not, does that make sense? So anytime I've been on the edge of that switch, and let me tell you something, for every 100 times I could, maybe 3 or 4 times I did. And it's only in those 3 situations that I just described that I would even consider doing it, because I think I could defend that. Does that make sense? I don't feel badly in those situations. All right. This is just such an important thing, because it's going to be tempting. All right. Especially if you're really digging in and you're really trying to build something, it's going to be tempting for you to want people to switch to you because you're focused on your own goals. Right? But don't undermine the long-term vision of what it is you're trying to build because you want to get 2 more points this month. Don't lose the respect and trust of people on your team or people in the network because you want to get 2 more points this month. Does that make sense? Right? Don't let the short-term carrot dangling here undermine your integrity as a coach. All right? I hope everybody understands that. The other thing that the third area is this: following others on social media. Okay. And this is a little bit different. The one area is it's if you see something post, it's really, there's a lot of coaches out there that put really good stuff out there. Okay. And it's one thing, I always say this, you don't, it's good to be a copycat, just copy the right cat, but here's what I would tell you. You don't want to just share their stuff openly, right? Like if you see something on my wall and you just click share and you're like, read what Tommy has to say, all your people are seeing me now and they're connecting with me. Does that make sense? That's the first thing. Okay. The second thing is, it's one thing, don't just copy and paste it. Use the concept and word it in your own words. That's what I would suggest doing. Okay. Nobody likes to feel like they're getting stolen from, Now, I don't have a problem when people come to me and ask me, if you want to use it, the right thing to do would be just to ask that coach, hey, I really loved your post. Would you mind if I used it or something like it? I've never told somebody no that's asked me to do that, ever. Okay. Never have but I've always appreciated, versus me just all of a sudden I see them in my newsfeed and I'm like, what the hell? They just took my stuff. Nobody likes to get hijacked. Okay. That's the first thing. The second thing is this, and this has kind of come up among some of the higher leadership ranks is understand, like when you like somebody's like page, all your friends now see that like page, and you may be leading your people to somebody else. Okay? And so then you have to ask yourself, does that person have the same integrity that I do? Are they going to turn my people back to me? If you don't know the answer to that, then I probably would say you can go check their page, but I wouldn't be like actively, because if you like their stuff, chances are their ads are going to show up in your friend's Facebook stuff because it connects everything. Okay, does that make sense? All right. You don't have to worry about the personal page as much, but just I don't know too much about like pages. I don't use them, so if I sound like an idiot, that's why, because I don't personally have a like page that I use. I don't promote ads. I've never done it that way. Many coaches do, though. And so at the end of the day, though, you just want to make sure that, I think it's okay to go follow those people to see what they're doing, right? But every time you like something on theirs, it raises the likelihood that your friends are also going to see them. All right? So just understand that. And if you don't understand that, then you can do your own research and figure out your own thing, because I don't know a lot about that. I'm not going to act like an expert at something I'm not. All right. But at the end of the day, it's this. I mean, the 2 biggest areas are the bonus buying and the switching coaches. Okay. I don't ever want us to be in a position. We got to understand something. We represent more than just ourselves. Okay. It's just like the kids I coach football with, right? Their behavior is indicative, of St. Thomas Aquinas. For everywhere they go, they're going to be a St. Thomas Aquinas football player. So if they're acting like an ass in the middle of a restaurant, guess who's going to get a phone call? Their football coach. Does that make sense? So we have to understand that everything that we do, we represent each other. And so I just wrote down a few golden rules that we all should know, that we all can apply, that apply to the situation. The first thing is this: treat others the way that you want to be treated. Okay. I mean, that's just such a golden rule, right? Treat others, help other people, do what's best, sincerely care, evaluate the situation, and ask yourself, is it right for me to sign this person up, or is it right for me to lead them back to their original person? Okay, and give them back to their rightful ownership. Okay, you don't want to be caught receiving stolen property, do you? You know, you know what I'm saying? No, that wouldn't be a good thing. Okay, and you also don't want to be labeled as somebody who does that. You just don't, because once you got that label, man, it's hard to get it off you. And I've seen it happen. Number two is this: you reap what you sow. If you go out there and you break the rules and you take other people's people and do all that stuff, guess what's going to happen to you? The same thing, and you might lose them all in one fell swoop. If the company decides to come in and say, nope, you're a rule breaker, there's too many patterns of history here, right? And I'm not saying any of you are. I'm just making sure, because we haven't talked about this topic probably in a year and a half, and we got a lot of new coaches, and I know you're going to run into this stuff, right? But you reap what you sow. And at the end of the day, number three is this: just if any time that you find yourself saying, well, maybe they won't find out about it this time. Well, I hope nobody sees me do this, right? Guess what? Then don't do it. Don't do it. Assume that everybody sees everything that you do. All right? The true sign of character is what you do when nobody's watching. What you do when nobody's watching. That's the true sign of character. And I have no doubt, man, because I know the type of leaders that we have on this team. So I assume that the type of people we attract are the people who are on the up and up, are the people who do want to do things right, are the people who sincerely want to help people, are the people who want to kick ass. They don't want to play with deflated balls. They don't need deflated balls to go out there and kick somebody's ass, right? How many of you need deflated balls to win a game? You don't, right? Okay, we can go win this game the right way. We can go do great things the right way. We can go make a crap load of money the right way. We can go help a lot of people the right way without risking our reputation, without risking our integrity. And I have no doubt, I have all the faith in the world with you guys. So with that said, okay, here it is. It's February 2nd. We got a whole month ahead of us. It's an exciting time. It's really the true start of New Year's resolutions, because up until this point, everybody's been picking out on football weekends with the bowl games and the Super Bowl and the playoffs and all that stuff. So now it's really time. We got summer. This is a great time to remind people, hey, summer starts in 3 or 4 months. It's a great time to get yourself back in shape so you don't feel fat in your beach clothes, or whatever. But the next 2 months these are the most exciting months of the year for us. February and March, right? And the people that go out there, and do the programs first themselves, right? In fact, I got my 21-day fixed chart out today. I had a bad weekend. Ashley's dad was here. It was his birthday. I had cake and ice cream, damn it. So I got my 21-day fixed chart out today, and I started filling that sucker back in, with what I ate. And I was 2 greens short because I don't like vegetables. But, but that's the first thing, right? Go out there and do this stuff yourself. The second thing is go out there and help some people, man. I'm excited for this team. I can't wait to see who crushes the cup. I can't wait to see everybody waving their autumn bobbleheads when they hit the first tier and do all that kind of stuff. So, guys, I think, hey, 9:45 on the money. I said 45 minutes. I guess that means I better shut up now. So I'll talk to you guys later. And thank you for listening to tonight's message, because I know this isn't the most exciting topic in the world, but it's something that's important. So, guys, I love you all. Let's just keep going out there and doing great work, okay? And I will see you guys, all of you, in a month. I'll see the people in Basics and Ramp tomorrow night. Peace out.